And welcome to today's Saturday Double Tap. And our first contract today, Kill the Killers, set in New York and supplied to us by Sith Lord Lestat. So moving on to our briefing, they all killed and tortured 10 people, take them out. And moving on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with a free map. And for today's challenge, we'll be starting at the default location, and we'll be bringing with us a combat knife and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we are going to make our way to the rear of the teller hall, and the first thing we require is a change of disguise. And we need to eliminate our 5 targets whilst disguised as a janitor. So we're going to go for the go-to janitor, and that is the gentleman up on the balcony here. So we're going to hop over the banister, scoot along to the side balcony and up onto the floor. We're going to make our way over towards the janitor, who's just getting into the exact wrong position. So we're just going to wait him out until he loses interest in us. He will go back to his usual routine and eventually will make his way back to the banister. And at that point we can remove the wet floor sign and he will render himself unconscious. So he's about to go and pick up his mop and start mopping, and once he is finished with that, he will make his way back to the banister. And once he is unconscious, we can grab both the outfit that he's wearing and the keys that he dropped, allowing us access to the janitor's exit. So he's now back over at the banister. We can make our way down the corridor, grab the wet floor sign and drop it around the corner here. And again, we're just going to wait for the janitor to return. And as you can see, we've already passed one of our targets when we came up onto the banister. And we also triggered a conversation between Ruby Red and somebody else. So that young lady out on the balcony will move eventually into a more favourable position.
I feel like giving them a bit.
While we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to move on to our first target, and we're going to grab the wrench from the boxes, make our way into the janitor's closet, throw the wrench on the floor to attract the attention of the security guard defending Mr. Jackson, and we're going to render him unconscious, drop him into the closet provided, and then we can select our combat knife and launch it at Mr. Jackson, and we are 1 target down. So we can't just leave him lying around here, plus we need our knife back. So we're going to move Mr. Jackson into the closet in the janitor's office once again. There we go. We can leave him on the floor if we so wish. The janitor does come in here, but unfortunately he's having a bit of a concussion out in the corridor, so he won't be coming in today. So once we've done all of that, we can then make our way into the rec room, and the young lady out on the balcony will now be in here, having finished eavesdropping on Ruby Red, and she will be making a phone call to someone, and we are going to rudely interrupt her and introduce her to Cold Steel. We can't leave her lying around. No one will come in here, but we are going to go into the next room, and that would mean someone could see the body. So we're going to put her in the closet provided, grab the kitchen knife from the counter, and then we're going to make our way into the restroom here, and we are going to deal with both of our next 2 targets with the kitchen knife. So you get to introduce to Cold Steel, and then you, having patiently waited your turn, also get introduced to Cold Steel. So that's 4 targets down, 1 more to go. We're now going to make our way around to the interview room where our final target is located. So we need the combat knife for this, so I'm going to select it, ready and waiting for when we get there. Let's just close these doors, and then we're going to pull out our knife. Our target will spot that and get rather alarmed, and we can then introduce her to Cold Steel. So with all of our targets now taken care of, we're going to try and move this young lady into the closet provided. Apparently she's stuck underneath the chair, so we just add insult to injury, and we'll put 2 bullets in her head and then head for the exit. So with all of our targets taken care of, all we have to do is to make good our escape, and as we have the janitor's keys, we can make our way around to the janitor's exit. So there we go, 1 contract down with 1 more to go, and we get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan, and we had no objectives to worry about, and we get a silent assassin rating. So moving on to our second contract today, Kill Order 2-27-7843707-45, set in Dubai and supplied to us by Danny Boone 1. So with no briefing, we'll move straight on to our targets, and again we have 5 of them, along with 2 objectives this time round. So for today's second challenge, we'll be starting as the event staff, and we'll be bringing with us a claw hammer and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we are going to make our way out of the conference room and into the kitchen next door, where 3 of our targets will be located. Now unfortunately there's this young lady as well, so we're going to render her unconscious with the hammer, leaving only our targets alive, and we can then dispatch the chef with a simple bullet to the head. We're going to make our way into the changing rooms, and we're going to wait for the naked guard to stand back up and lean on the lockers, making the next 2 shots very easy, as we cannot be spotted. So once the guard is leaning on the lockers, we have a nice lined up double shot here. Unfortunately the young lady did move ever so slightly, so we had to take an extra shot, but 2 more targets have been dealt with. That leaves 2 more to go. So we're going to retrieve our hammer from the young chef's assistant there, make our way back out into the corridor, as our next target has just wandered off as part of his patrol. We're going to render his colleague unconscious with our hammer and deposit him in the toilet provided. And we're going to collect up the gun that he dropped as well, and we're going to use that to lure our target further down into this part of the corridor by placing it on the floor there. We're going to wait in the kitchen, and that will prevent the other 2 housekeeping staff members from down the far end of the corridor witnessing something they should not witness. So when the guard comes back, he will spot the gun, he will move in to take the gun away, and at that point we can then drop him with a simple bullet to the head, and that leaves us just 1 more target to go, and that is the young janitor lady all the way down past the conference room. So we're going to render her unconscious and give her a very quick neck massage, and we are now 5 for 5, and all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and the nearest available safe exit will be up by the main security office, and that will be the lift shaft up there. So we're going to make our way straight up the stairs to the lift shaft, and let ourselves back downstairs, hopefully making it all the way to the ground floor without falling. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of, making that 2 for the day. We have confirmation all of our targets were eliminated according to plan, we met our objectives, and we got a silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.